So in this video, we'll be reacting to the crowd's reaction to a man detailing the time where he was going through, DV. So let's see.
You said when you came out, which I thought was quite interesting, you said, I don't really like to admit this, she was violent, we both made mistakes, but she was very controlling. And I felt like she called the shots in this relationship.
Well, she locked me in the flat one day.
She locked you in the flat?
Yeah, she locked me in the flat. Obviously, me being angry, I didn't know the door was locked. I've gone over, I've grabbed the door handle, pulled it, and it's come straight off in my hands. So we're stuck on a three-story flat.
Okay, so even just there, you hear a few giggles as he recounts his time, where he was locked in, in the building.
To jump off a three-story balcony. I ripped all my back, all my legs, and I ended up in hospital.
So he tells us how he had literally had to jump off, a high position, possibly and definitely would have hurt himself. And the crowd's reaction was to laugh. So that's interesting.
Because she won't let me out of the house.
It's not funny though. Can I tell you why it's not funny? And I don't want to upset any of the audience because I completely appreciate the fact that you're here. But I'll tell you why I don't think you should laugh. If this was the other way around and a woman was sat here and a bloke had locked her in a flat and she had to jump out and injured herself, you lot would not be laughing. You would be saying, he's a complete nightmare, he should be locked up and that's disgraceful. But somehow, if it happens to a bloke, that's funny. That's not funny, is it? That isn't.
Isn't that interesting? The same people who were laughing were the same ones who were clapping. It's just like they're literal robots. They don't have a brain for themselves. They don't have their own mind. I'd say all the time that the mind can be programmed. They are literally just like what you'd see in video games for real, where you're playing virtual reality and those, computer bots are walking around. That's literally what they are. They were the ones that were laughing. He tells them off and they clap as if he's telling someone else off.
Tell my team she would give you black eyes.
Yeah, well, I went to the black eye, fat lip and everything, hitting me. She used to say I was bad because I was one who turned around and I did put my hands through doors and punch walls and stuff.
What a great environment in which to bring two children up.
I'd rather do that than hit her.
And that's a good point, He said he would rather hit walls rather than hit her. And people, they don't have any sense of sympathy or understanding of what some men have to go through, where it's like you understand why these men take it out in unhealthy ways. But it's because of the frustration is building and they have to let it out somehow, some way. It has to come out. So what he said makes sense. This is what happens when you have a chaotic woman. This is what happens when you don't follow nature's role. This is what happens when you don't follow traditional expectations of relationships. This is what happens when you don't satisfy hypergamous nature. This is what happens when your woman doesn't respect you because you're not leading. I'm not saying that it's necessarily his fault, although he could actually control that situation if he puts her in her place and so on. But the point is the manipulation and the adjustments that the system has done to relationships causes this, because this is what happens. It makes sense why so many men are suffering from mental health issues. It makes sense why in their situation they feel like they, can't let go, be vulnerable and so on. It makes sense why he has to put his hand through the wall, because women are allowed to do this stuff. You saw it. There's social encouragement. That's why they're applauding. This is why they're clapping. This is why they're laughing when he's saying what he's going through, because we already know that would never happen the other way around. It would never be the case that a woman sitting there going, I had to jump off, the first story of a building just to escape being locked. They would literally be shocked. They would be hurt. They would, be crying and so on. There's just no sympathy, it looks like, for men. But I'm glad that he put things in perspective properly. I'm glad that, he didn't let people just laugh and get away with it. I actually didn't expect that from someone like him, because a lot of these TV hosts, they actually encourage this stuff. But it is good to see that at least to some degree they will, put things in its rightful place. But anyway, I want to know what you think. So comment down below, let Reemus know, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.